Hey guys, I'm back again with another video, and like promised before, I wanted to share my story of when I got baptized. In 2017, I was baptized. I became born again, and basically the ups and downs from that time up until now, up until 2025, and where I'm at with my faith. Um, okay, so I've said in a previous video where my faith was at prior to getting baptized and becoming born again. I come from a Samoan family. Samoan people are, it's, God and country. Kind of, it's kind of like on the same level, even though they try to act like it's God first. But in general, like it's a big part of our culture. Being Christian, I come from my family is traditionally comes from the Efakasa Church, which is the Congregational Church of Samoa that was brought over originally from the London Missionary Society. So Protestant, Presbyterian, that's the kind of Christian my family is. But yeah, so growing up, I never really believed. I guess I was kind of like a agnostic. I never say I was an atheist. I always kept an open mind, but I was more agnostic. And I started working at this warehouse not far from where I live. And when I was going there, I met a lot of Christians, a lot of people that that suffered a lot in their lives, people that were sexually abused, a lot of people that were came from broken families, just had a terrible life. But one thing that I saw with these people is that they were the happiest people I've ever seen. When like when I would see them day to day, I'm sure they still had their troubles, but they had a glow about them. They had like just a peacefulness, a calmness. And so I would start to talk to them. We became friends, and I would listen to their life stories, and then they would start asking me questions about it. And then from there, I'm like, I started to kind of debate them. Even though I didn't really have anything to stand on, I would just start saying stuff to make them think. And a lot of my questions about Christ and God was always kind of the questions that no human being would truly know. Like God's design, God, the mind of God. Why did God, why does he think this way? Why is there evil? Why is there good? Like a lot of things that kind of like, no human being really would be able to understand that, right? But it opened a lot, the dialogue between me and them. I was starting to get really started to think about it, and then the purpose for what, like our purpose as human beings here, and all that stuff. And then a friend of mine was like, I think I want to get baptized, hey. And I told her, and she goes, I could set it up. And then I went and I got baptized that night, and like it was the strangest thing that I've ever done in my life. I got into the pool, surrounded by majority of these people that I do not know, the strangers. I met these people that night, other than the few friends that from work that they were there, and they started praying over me. And I said these words, man. I can't believe I actually said this. Like, it was the most how do I say, surrendering, that's the word, sorry, surrendering, surrendering yourself, like in front of these people. Like also, like I would be embarrassed, but for some reason I felt like this was the right thing to do. And I said these words. I said, Jesus, come to me. And when they dunked my head and I came back out, I felt a lot different. And then even at that time, I'm still questioning, oh, maybe it's just, human beings are emotional. Maybe I'm just thinking that, maybe these are just my thoughts because I'm around all these people that look happy. This thing that's supposed to, make me reborn. So that night I got baptized, and then I went on with my life. Like, a few months later, me and my first wife at the time. We were developing our relationship. We got married really early, like I think like 6 to 7 months after we started dating. And the reason that being because when I got baptized, I saw my whole like being was changing. I spoke different. I thought different. She came into my life. So I'm thinking like this is all like God's thing, right? This is all God's design. Like, of course she's gonna be my wife. It doesn't matter if it's only 6, 7 months that we're gonna get married. So we went on with our relationship. I got married. So sorry. Let me backtrack. The more I started to give into her, I started to fade away from Christ. You know, I started to fade away from Christ. Sorry. So then we carried on. You know, like after I got baptized, our relationship started blossoming more. But as soon as that happened, not long after that, I felt I was getting away from Christ. Which, looking back now, I should have stayed true to my faith and keep learning and keep consuming, consuming the Bible, learning about God. But I didn't. I started to slowly fade away and put all my energy and everything into my first wife. I call her my first wife because I do plan to get married again. Hopefully, God willing, that happens. But yeah, so I put everything into her, which is the wrong thing. I should have just kept, standing firm in my faith, learning, consuming. And then we got married, and that's when the destruction started happening, right? The destruction, the house started falling apart. All our issues, just, terrorizing, but we're trying to keep this house together. And at this point, I'm really, like, when I get angry, I'm really turning my back, on God. I'm really, the hell with church, the hell with this. I don't want to think about that crap and all that. Like, those were the words I remember thinking back that I would say. Yeah, and then fast forward a little bit more, marriage ends, I leave, I come back home, extremely sad, extremely depressed. I feel like a failure. I feel like, I'm close to, I don't want to say that word, the S word, but like very, very just on the verge of doing something terrible. And so, like my previous video, I spoke about what usually happened when I would get extremely unhappy or depressed. It was basically hooking up with chicks or meeting up with women, and yeah, that just brought me nothing but more destruction. Like, I felt so unhappy, so drained. My body felt like, you hear about this, if you're that depressed, your body can start feeling the effects of it. I'll get headaches. I couldn't walk properly. The side of my hips would like just feel so tight. And I would feel weak. My body felt so weak. But going back to the faith and my baptism, when I became baptized, right? And this, for anyone that's thinking about getting baptized, you see the whole world there's just a different feeling now. Like you're able to see certain things for what it is. Things that can't be explained, but if you think about Christ and you learn about Christ, you learn about the purpose, you start to see those things. You feel joy like you've never felt before, but also when you feel guilt, it's like the worst guilt that you ever feel. Like, it's like 10 times worse before you were baptized, right? So that brings me to, like, right now, where I'm now. I can't say that, like, I'd be lying to you, lying to me, lying to the Lord if I say that I'm comfortable that I'm doing good by Christ and doing well, and that's the lie. Like, I'm growing inch by inch into the faith, stronger and stronger, a little bit by bit. I can say that confidently. Dude, the struggles are still there. The struggles are extremely hard, especially when, you're trying to like become a content creator on social media and you're like ravaged with, there's chicks all over the place on social media. So I just I just keep believing that it's growing. Like, and I feel that a lot. I feel like I'm doing good, you know. It's getting there. It's getting there. And it makes me so happy when I see like a lot of Christian content creators. I see a lot of people like here, like a lot of islanders, that are like really, when I see their stories, it makes me like so happy, because then I don't feel alone as well. And I try to reach out to some people, but they're a bit quiet, they don't really want to talk to me or anything, but it's awesome. And if you're thinking about learning about Christ and learning about the Christian way, I suggest you do it, man. It doesn't just read a little bit of the Bible. You don't have to fully understand it. Just start reading it. I have a Bible next to my bed every night. It's so hard for me just to even open that book. So if you can't even just do that, just consume it in other ways. Listen to podcasts, watch stories of people who are Christians, movies, and you start to get into it. So that's my advice. This is the way, man. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. So just check it out, bro. It might change your life. God bless you, and hope you have a good night. Thank you.